trans people don't transition for athletics. We transition to be happy and authentic and our true selves. Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions.
You didn't transition to win more medals?
No.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is What's Next. I'm Jasper Agonzo, your host, and of course, as always, your daily dose of common sense and facts. Well, remember Will Thomas? Well, I'm sorry. His stage name, Leah Thomas? Yes, that amazing swimmer, you know, mentioned in the same name with Michael Phelps and Mark Spitz. Oh, I'm sorry, he was 425th or 35th in the world in competing in college sports. But then he decided to become a woman. Once he became a woman, he went up the ranks and zoomed to number one. Yes, so much so that he won a 500-yard freestyle in women's swimming. But now his career is over. But he comes out and speaks for the first time and says, well, as a man, I don't have a competitive edge in women's sports. Let's take a look. This comes out of Red State. Will Thomas says he doesn't need anybody's permission to compete as a woman. Controversial trans swimmer Will Thomas spoke out Tuesday on ABC's Good Morning America, says trans people don't pose a threat to women's sports. I knew there would be scrutiny against me if I competed as a woman. He said, I was prepared for that, but I don't need anybody's permission to be myself and do the sport that I love. Oh, can't you just feel the love? Thomas competed for 3 years on a men's swimming team at the University of Pennsylvania with middling results. He began hormone therapy at the end of his sophomore career and joined the women's team for his senior year. Not surprisingly, he went on to smash numerous records and win the NCAA title in the 500-yard freestyle. Now that his college career is over, Thomas intends to keep going, telling interviewer Juju Zhang, I intend to keep swimming. It's been my goal of mine to swim at the Olympic trials for a very long time, and I would love to see that through. When Thomas says in the first quote that this article that he doesn't need anybody's permission, he might want to rethink that one. In fact, he needs the permission of the International Olympic Committee, which is, of course, constantly changing, goalposts moving, wind blowing, complicating rules and regulations regarding trans competing in the games. For the moment, the IOC dictates that trans policies are determined by each individual sport. That's leadership for you folks. We're going to go from that to this. And this comes out of Outkick. Tennis legend Martina Navratilova, agrees with Clay Travis on trans athletes debate. Bullying will only get you so far. Tennis legend Martina Navratilova used her Twitter feed to come out in agreement with Outkick founder Clay Travis' take on New York Times article targeting Navratilova for objecting to biological men competing against women. She tweets, go figure, bullying will only get you so far. This is from Clay Travis. A spokeswoman for gay rights group urged reporter not to platform that this is not to quote, though she said held objectionable views, including Martina Navratilova, the retired tennis legend, a champion of liberal and lesbian causes. Miss Navratilova argues that trans female athletes, quote unquote, possess a insurmountable biological advantages. So I'm a TERF. Okay, that's the way you want to go? Navratilova said in her response, I played against taller women, I played against stronger women, I beat them all. But if I faced against a male equivalent of Thomas in tennis, that's biology, of course. She would have a disadvantage. Trans activists demanded the New York Times not to speak at tennis legend Martina Navratilova because they said her opinion that men should compete against men and women should compete against women was unacceptable to share. Yes, you cannot share facts. Navratilova reiterated Clay's take on a study request by activists to silence her opinion on trans athletes competing against biological women, quoting in his tweet, adding, go figure, bullying will only get you so far. Let's see. While the media tries to shun these opinions, people of reason are starting to fight back. Men who decide to identify as women have huge competitive advantage, are bigger, stronger, faster than women, Clay said on Tuesday's show. To highlight the major competitive advantage, Clay cited an actual New York Times article, which showed that in 2018, the world's fastest women's runner, Alyssa Felix, was bested in her 400-meter race, timed by nearly 300 high school male athletes. In 2018, 275 high school boys ran faster than the fastest woman in the history of the world. Thomas, trying to argue that trans athletes aren't a threat to women's athletics, is a lie, because Thomas was not a good swimmer necessarily, certainly in high-end competition as a man, no chance to ever win an NCAA event as a man, so let me become a woman, and then wins, excuse me, the 500-meter race. Thomas speaking on Good Morning America regarding so-called advantages or no advantages.
Trans people don't transition for athletics. We transition to be happy and authentic and our true selves. Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions.
You didn't transition to win more medals.
No.
Welcome to the Clown Show, everyone. The continuing clown show that we have regarding Will Thomas. So Will Thomas sits there looking like, what was that guy who sang Tiptoe to the Tulips? I forgot his name, but for you old heads out there, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm sure it'll come to me after I do this. But for Will Thomas to sit there in an interview, to deny, to refuse to come to the realization that he has no competitive edge over women, or that what he is doing is the right thing to do because it's who I really am. Yeah, sadly so. It's called reality. So hopefully the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, comes to the realization themselves that, yeah, we can't allow this because of the overwhelming and obvious advantage that Thomas would have over women in women's swimming. So let's take Michael Phelps, who's been retired for a number of years, put him in women's swimming and watch him dominate. LeBron James, put him in the WNBA, watch him dominate. But remember the trans weightlifter from New Zealand who competed in the Olympics, in the woke Olympics last year? I mean, in 2020? What happened to him? Oh, that's right. He lost. He lost to two women in his bid to get an Olympic medal. Reality is a hard thing. And sometimes it can be a bitch. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more shows like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.